Good afternoon, West in the world. It's now Tuesday afternoon, and we had our second meeting of the semester this morning. So I just want to take a few minutes and talk to you about, or to sort of review some of the major points of what we discussed this morning, and talk a little bit about how that connects to where we're going. What did we talk about this morning? Well, there were sort of three main things that we sort of covered. The first of them was a fairly lengthy discussion about what is history. We talked a lot about history as an act of interpreting the past, of making some kind of sense out of what comes to us from the past. Something that we do in very ordinary ways, like when we talk about our favorite baseball player, or when we share metaphors of language through song lyrics and poetry. But we also talked a little bit about how that's done in a more professional sense by historians who delve into primary source documents. And we acknowledge that in this process, perspective matters a great deal. Whether you think Ted Williams is the greatest baseball player of all time or Willie Mays depends a lot on whether you grew up a San Francisco Giants fan or a Boston Red Sox fan. And in the same way, it makes a deeper kind of impact when you're talking about the large-scale processes that tend to catch a lot of historical attention. So we talked a lot about what history is and how we go about this process of interpreting the past, something we will continue to discuss throughout the semester. But we also asked ourselves a little bit about what is this thing that we're talking about, that is the West, and what are its origins prior to the year 1500 when we're really picking up the story. We said a couple of things. First of all, we said that the West refers to a sort of general collective cultural identity with origins here in this part of the world, Western Europe, where we're going to spend the majority of our time, but that has now spread to places like the United States and Canada and Australia. But for its origins, we talked a little bit about the contributions of the Fertile Crescent. We talked a little bit about the civilizations of ancient Greece as a birthplace of many of the ideas. We talked about the origins that come from ancient Rome and the ways in which Rome helped sort of disperse Greek thinking and stability and law through the construction of its empire into the places that we traditionally think of as being part of Western Europe. And then we concluded with some reflections on the medieval period and this feudal order of those who work and those who fight and those who pray, and how that order sets the stage for what is to come in the years ahead. And so as we turn our attention from now till Thursday, we're preparing to think a little bit about how this transition from medieval period to something that is often called the Renaissance takes place. And we identified sort of one key transition moment, that is the cataclysm of the Black Plague, or the Black Death, and the coming of bubonic plague and the sort of crisis that this engenders throughout Europe. Population loss that's associated with it, the death of as much as 50% of the Western European population, and the ways in which that helps people be open to new ideas. So on Thursday, when we pick up talking about the Renaissance, we'll be talking about something that people are self-consciously identifying as a rebirth, as a return to something out of the past. What that is will be the subject of Thursday morning. See you there.